welcome to another Watch with Ween and Ray.
What up?
Ween and
Didn't
Ray
expect
go.
me here.
Ween and Ray go to the movies.
Wee! Always a fun time. Or as I like to call it, we makes the movie in 10 minutes.
Literally sitting in the movie, and I was complaining because Fast Five was so fucking loud next door that, um, and she's like, "Where are you at? Which movie?" And I told her, and she's like, "I go, can you? It starts in 10 minutes." And she got there and was like 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Made pretty good time, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. You only missed one trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
And a
was,
super depressing commercial that I'm glad I didn't watch then.
did you end up watching it? You ended up watching it, right?
I sure did. I
We all
sure did.
we all
And I
fucking
bawled
sobbed.
my eyes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dove.
Anyhow,
But also thank you, Dove.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Take all my money.
Yeah, here it is. Just take it.
Let's take it. Um, yeah. So we're here to talk about the Boogeyman.
Yeah. Steering
Steering.
Sophie Thatcher, Chris Messina, and Vivian Lyra Blair.
Yes, and David. Well, for like 2 seconds, David Damaskian, who y'all know from, I mean, just tangentially horror. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he is in The Dark Knight. He plays a pretty important role in The Dark Knight. Um, you would know if you saw him. He's very interesting looking. He looks very Russian to me. Like, I don't know why. It could just be
Oh
the
yeah,
last
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
And not that like Russians have a certain look, but like he just has a look, but because I know his last name sounds kind of Eastern European.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I
I'm trying
find
to
him
see what
very
else he's been
attractive.
in. Yeah. Huge.
Um because he hosted the Chainsaw Awards last year. Um
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was in Dune, in the new
oh, okay.
Dune.
Okay.
I knew he looked familiar. I know I've seen him in a lot of shit. He was in the Boston Strangler. He was in Ant-Man.
The new one? Okay, didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quantumania.
um
He's done a lot of voices.
yeah. Oh, he's gonna be an Oppenheimer. All right. All right.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
looks
That makes
interesting.
sense because it's Christopher Nolan, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, that's he's like got this. I mean, I bring him up and I feel bad because he's got such a tiny role. But
I
I
know.
just, but it's a pivotal. I mean, but it's an important role because he's the one who introduces this fucking thing to this
Yes.
family. I have a question for you because my first note is here is we're just killing babies. We're just killing babies.
Sure are. Just right off the bat, right out
Right
the
up, like,
gate.
jump straight, fucking jump straight. And FYI, this is a Stephen King short story.
Yes.
So, um, so my question to you is: we get, oh, what the fuck is his character's name? But Lester
Sure.
Billings comes to a surprise like walk-in therapy session with Chris Messina's Will Harper, and he starts to tell him the story. To me, it sounded like the first child legit died. Like she passed away from, not, and they say that the other ones weren't legitimate, but she passed away from SIDS, and they went into mourning. And I think
Yeah.
it sounded to me like this thing feeds on mourning and grief.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it somehow
Which
it
some
got
people are like, some of the reviews I've read on this movie, some people are like, oh, I've seen this before. It's called The Babadook. And it's like, this was written well before The Babadook, so fuck you.
yeah, that, and I think this was it actually, I think, did a better job with, I don't know. I mean, I like this a lot more than the Babadook.
I agree. I think that, the monsters being personified as whatever the family's dealing with, whatever pain, grief, whatever, symbolizing that. It's a common theme, yes, but like it's also scary.
Yeah. Yeah,
Something
and
out something that you have to deal with that is out of your control.
yeah. And the fact that, I mean, I guess like, so the reason it latches on to this family then is because they have just lost them, like their mother, the matriarch of this family. She died in a
Hmm.
car accident. So unfortunately, we're not going to spoil this. I think we should get
Yeah,
just little bit into it, and then we will just give our what we liked and what we didn't like about it.
yeah.
Um,
The father is a therapist,
mhm.
and he is throughout the movie. There's this theme of like he's doing the right thing by like continuing to work and trying to keep the family up and like putting the girls in separate therapy, but he himself is not dealing with his wife's death at all.
Well, he's also, every time the girls come to talk to him and try to just talk to him as a
Talk
dad,
about it. Yeah,
yeah, he's
he's
like, you should talk to your therapist about it. Don't, like,
right.
pretty much, like, he doesn't
He
say it like that, but well, he does actually. He says you should
he
tell your
does. He
therapist tomorrow.
completely shuts down.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to, like, and part of me is like, okay, yes, that does make sense because that's not like, but at the same time, I get it. Everyone is grieving in this movie, but at the same time,
Hmm.
like, and it is probably right for him to say, I don't want to mess up anything that your therapist is already working on with you, but I'm
Sure,
also your dad.
but
But
they're approaching him as their father
right,
for
right,
comfort,
right,
and that's supposed to, I mean, grief, can either bring a family together or tear it apart.
right.
And I've borne witness to it tearing a family apart, unfortunately, but it
Well,
happens a lot.
and I was saying because it was really weird because I was watching. I was saying that I was watching Shrinking that day. That day, and we saw this, and
Hmm.
Shrinking follows a very similar, like, matriarch of the family's dead from a car accident,
Yeah,
and we come in a year into this, and the daughter hates the fucking father. He's a therapist also,
yeah,
and she's like, you, she said, you left me to grieve by myself, because he was like, what, off the deep end, like drugs and, I mean, like, everything. And
yeah,
she's like, I was broken, I lost someone too,
right.
but you left me to deal with this on my own. And
Hmm.
I think that this, like, if we got farther down the road, this, like, monster hadn't attached themselves itself to this family, we would have the same thing where I think the father
Yeah,
would finally have gotten so detached that he would have just ignored the girls.
yeah,
Because at one point, he's throwing away the mother's stuff. It's been a fucking month,
yeah.
maybe two.
He's boxing it all up and like
That's
like
not.
she had this huge art studio, and like her presence was so prevalent in the
Mhm.
house.
Yeah,
She was an artist, we're assuming a stay-at-home mom, who knows, but she was an artist, so she, in one huge room of the house, she had an art studio, and she was everywhere.
right,
And that's the room, like, toward the end, that he's starting to like box up, and because he has to put it out of his mind, but
right.
he's
Not
not, but
figuring
without
the girls.
without
Mhm.
any consideration of the kids.
And so, unfortunately, this is also the room that Lester Billings goes in and hangs himself in. It's, I
Shortly
mean,
after his therapy session.
he doesn't even get very far. He does not get very
No.
far because immediately, like, Will's like, oh, I need to call the authorities. Like, I need to
Yeah.
call somebody.
This guy
And
could possibly hurt somebody, because the in the therapy session, Lester is talking about what's, he's lost all his children. All his children are dead.
yeah,
Everybody thinks I did it. And like the more he's talking about it, the more Will is kind of thinking he did it too. And he's like, this guy needs to get the fuck out of my house right now.
well, then he
Oh,
pulls out the picture.
yeah. Yeah.
He pulls out the picture and he shows him what they've all seen in the house.
Yeah. Was it
And
his drawing or his kid's drawing?
his
I think
kid's
his kid drew
drawing.
it.
It was
Yeah.
kid's
His kid.
drawing.
Yeah.
Um, and he's just, I mean, I have to give it to this David Das Mauskian, is because he's just weeping, openly weeping, and you
Oh my
just
God.
feel
Yeah.
so fucking
Yeah.
bad for him because he's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he said they had 4 kids, something like that.
I think I remember three from the picture that I remember, maybe four.
Because I think there was a baby. There's like a baby
There
too.
was a baby, like an infant, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And like a 2-year-old that we see in the very, very beginning of the movie.
right.
Two or three.
So once he kind of hangs himself in the house,
Mm-hmm.
the boogeyman is there.
Yeah.
And so for the rest of the movie, we get this thing that is stalking, and it doesn't have to just be in the house. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's it's mobile. It just goes wherever it feels
It's
like,
just
where it feels grief. It just kind of attaches itself to
right. It
something.
latches onto the person. I feel like
Yeah,
it's kind of what I
similar to the
got from it.
Babadook. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
because
mean,
that's what it's feeding on. It's feeding on that, on your grief and your pain.
yeah, and I mean, I got the message clearer here than I did in the Babadook, but that's
I
neither here.
agree. I agree. I know you didn't like the Babadook that much anyway.
No, and I ended I coming around the corner on it. I did come around the corner by the end of the
You
movie.
did. You did.
I did. Um,
I didn't love it, but you know.
no. Um, so we have these two sisters who are like, I would say probably what, 9 years apart, maybe 8, a good amount of
Yeah,
time,
yeah. It's
ages apart.
they don't say their ages, but they seem like the older daughter feels like around 15, 16 maybe,
Hmm.
and the younger girl feels like third or fourth grade,
Yeah, like we said,
like
it's
8 or 9 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Yeah, they have a large age gap, but kudos to these two young actresses, especially the little one. Holy shit. If you don't fall in love with that little girl by the end of this movie, you
Hmm.
have no heart.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the
She's
other
so
thing. You didn't
fucking
have a
cute.
kid, the most obnoxious little fucking cunt screaming at me the whole time. So that was, a
Yeah,
difference from the
that was
Babadook too.
that also. Um, and their relationship too,
Is
because I
very, very,
it's
yes.
so cute. Like there are a lot of times that the teenager is picking up the slack where the
For
dad
the
is
dad.
lacking
Hmm.
with the little girl, with comforting her and being there for her and kind of playing mom to her
Yeah.
because their mom is gone. And it's a huge responsibility to put on a kid. She's still a kid too, and she's still
And
dealing with
she's
it.
grieving.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Sophie Thatcher because that is Sadie. I'm looking to see what else she's been in. She's on Yellow Jackets. I don't
Hmm.
watch that. Oh, the Book of Boba Fett? Rash. Oh, okay. I fucking hated the Book of Boba Fett, the first part, until you find until the Mandalorian shows up. Then y'all know.
Right.
Um,
Of course you
start.
did.
She was, um, one of her first shows was The Exorcist, playing young Reagan.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
All right.
Anyhow, yeah, so and then we've got again Chris Messina playing dad, who I think most well known for what the fuck is it called? The Adventures of what the hell is her name?
Oh,
Oh,
Mindy, the Mindy
the
Kaling
Mindy
Project or whatever.
Project.
The
Yeah, the Mindy Project. Um, and
He's
Devil.
also, yeah, he's about to actually, it's just launching today. He's in a new series with Kaylee Cuoco on Peacock called Based
Oh,
on a True Story.
is he the husband on that?
Yeah,
Oh, I can't
yeah.
stand her. Cool.
I know you do. I know you can't, but but it's about a couple who create a podcast based on a true crime that happened in their building or neighborhood or something.
Yeah,
But so it's supposed to be like a comedy, a dramedy.
yeah,
Um, but meh,
yep,
meh.
pretty much. Yep. I like him. I like him a lot. I honestly thought it was one of the oh god, I can't think of their names. They're brothers and they make oh god, you would know if oh, Duplass brothers. I thought they was one of the Duplass brothers, but no. They look, I think you would you throw a beard on somebody, they all kind of look alike after a while.
Yeah.
Especially white dudes. They all look alike. Anyhow,
Speaking of
all
this
right.
guy's beard, mm,
Oh my god, I
mm.
said I want to I want his face everywhere on my he's so hot. Like,
So
oh,
gorgeous,
oh,
such a
so silver
zaddy,
fox. Yes.
such a zaddy. Ooh.
Um, I think honestly,
Except I'd smack him in the fucking face for not like manning up to his kids. And I don't mean manning up, like I don't like saying manning up as a term in general, but for lack of a better phrase, for
y-
not, you know, but whatever. Then I'd sit on his face.
So let's just go into things like because I'm gonna say in general, like I don't know if we should give that much more because there's really not a lot here.
No.
There's a lot of
It's short.
it's short.
It's short, sweet, and simple. It's a powerful story, great cinematography.
Okay,
Like,
so let's go a couple things that we liked and then a couple
okay,
things we
okay,
didn't
okay.
like. Go
Okay,
ahead.
that's
Go for
fair.
it.
Things I liked. I like the symbolism of I have always been, I mean, this is just personally to me. This is
Mhm.
not, for everybody. I get it. But I like the theme, the idea of grief personified,
Mhm.
of grief and mourning and pain being this monster that
Yeah.
takes over and conquers and controls. I've always enjoyed that kind of theme,
Mhm.
because I think it's a very, obviously it's symbolic, but I think it's very true,
I think so.
um,
I think so.
from personal experiences. Hooray! Um, I liked the characters. I loved the girls. I loved their relationship, um, how they were together, and um, I loved the cinematography, the camera angles and everything.
Mhm.
I don't want to like take too much and like, go on and on or anything. So what did you like?
Again, yeah, there was a couple different shots that were fucking awesome. There was a shot the first time Sawyer goes to look under the bed, she kind of she's what we all did when we were little, like laid on
Yeah.
the end of the bed and stuck her head down to look under the bed. But the way the
Upside down.
camera follows her is so cool, and it's not like a Dutch angle or anything. Well, kind of, but not really. But it kind of just it moves with her, and it's really cool. As if we were, I don't know. It's just it was a weird, and they do it again later, and it works really well with this.
Yeah, yeah, it really does.
The motion and the energy works. I like, and we talked about it before we started. It was dark. It is very dark, but it's also PG-13. So I
Yes.
like that they don't give away the monster. Like when you finally
Yeah.
see this thing, like we don't even see a lot, but we see it. Holy shit, that thing that's got a, I don't, oh my God. It does have, when it comes to like eat, because it looks like it's going to eat somebody, and something comes out of its mouth that is absolutely fucking frightening.
And its jaw like unlatches or
Yes.
something, and it goes like really super long and huge, and oh, that's scary.
Yes. And you can
It's
fucking
freaky.
see a face in its, oh
Yeah.
my God. It is, I mean, I can only imagine they probably word for word from Stephen King. I
Hmm.
mean, but so I think honestly, I think the monster design was pretty great,
Yeah, I
honestly.
think it was good.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you what, just before we were getting on, Ray and I were talking about all these reviews that I was reading, on these negative reviews of the movie that I was reading on IMDb. And it's like, people, like, you're forgetting this is a PG-13 film.
Hmm.
They had limits,
Right.
you
You're talking
know,
about children in peril. You have to like rein it in.
rein it in a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
There's actually, hold on, there's some trivia that keep talking. I'm going to pull this up. This
Um,
trivia.
Yeah, I mean, there were some characters that I don't know necessarily. I mean, I can get into some stuff I didn't like because I would agree. I would co-sign on everything that you said.
Yeah.
Um, I think uh we could, I mean, honestly, we could have stretched it out just a little bit longer, or maybe done a little bit of a, like, I don't know necessarily if we needed all the shit with the friends that I wanted to punch in the face, the high school friends.
The Friends. I was
All of
saving
them,
that.
even the one who's supposed to be her best friend kind of
Yeah.
sucks too.
Yeah, I was gonna save that for one of the things that I hated, but I loved that I hated it, you know.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it,
but
it
I
was
don't
a little
necessarily,
over the top at
well,
times.
and
Like,
necessarily this isn't the movie for that. Like this isn't,
no,
because you take so far, you're like you're distracted so much about how much you hate these girls than what her what Sadie's journey is, like what her grief journey is, because you're
yeah,
too busy going, why the fuck would you say that to another human being, you fucking cunt?
yeah.
Like, I mean,
First, like, I don't think kids talk like that are friends with each other. I don't think they
I
talk like
don't think
that.
so. I don't think so either.
Like,
I don't think so. Like,
so maybe somebody needs to go back to high school and listen to how teenagers
well,
talk.
it's two guys, two like
Yes,
30-year-old guys who wrote it. So I
right.
mean,
They don't talk like that, first of all.
no.
Secondly, um
And get off your ass. If she's with her best friend, then build that up a little bit more. Build that
yeah,
up. It's like they're together and she's trying to take care of her and get her through this grief or something. And cut out that whole shit about the other girls. We don't need it. We do not need it.
we really didn't.
No.
So I found the trivia. First of all, it was originally supposed to be a straight to streaming on Hulu
Oh,
movie.
okay.
But the strong reception from test screenings prompted 20th Century Fox to instead, I'm sorry, 20th Century Studios, not Fox, to give it a theatrical release. Here's another one that I thought was interesting, considering everybody being like, oh, it's boring. Some scenes were so intense that they had to be changed after test screening. The audience screamed so loud that important dialogue after the scene was lost. The editing was changed to put in pauses so the dialogue could be heard.
Wow.
P.S. Dialogue is spelled incorrectly, but
I mean, there were times where you and I were like, I mean, there's no real jump scares in this.
there's a few. There's a few.
I don't remember like enough that was pissing me off like some of the movies we watched even just this past weekend.
Yeah,
but
right.
but like
Oh,
they weren't egregious, let's just say that.
I won't say that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go into super detail about that, but I'll read that one to you later. Um,
Um but like yeah, I mean trying to think of other things I didn't care about like about it, but I mean those are the glaring things.
in general, it tends to in general, it kind of pisses me off, and I will admit I was starting to get kind of annoyed through through like 75% of the movie when I still couldn't fucking see the thing. Because like all we get are you know, inferences and alludes to these crawling arms or something, and then you know it's either too dark to see or um you know it's too quick to comprehend and see. But again, it's a PG-13 movie. If I think if they lingered too long on it, they would have to change their rating.
Yeah. For frightening uh uh frightening themes and scenes.
Yeah,
It's the Jaws effect. You don't show your monster
right.
until you're ready. And
Yeah,
I mean,
and that too, like on the one hand I was annoyed, but on the other hand it made me that want to see it that much more,
mhm,
and it made me really want to stick around for the end to see it, to see the
yeah,
fucking thing,
yeah,
which is that's what you want when you movie.
right, right. I mean, now that you say that about streaming, I could totally see it. I could totally be. I mean, I
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
going to the movie theater and seeing it, but I can totally see
Hmm.
that. Like, it'll have a really good life on streaming.
I
It
think it
will.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was decent.
yeah. Um, do you have anything else you didn't like about it?
I'm trying to think. The things I didn't like are things I wasn't supposed to like.
Yeah.
Like the dad not dealing with shit, and um you know, not being there for his kids and not believing his kids when
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to approach him about, you know, what they're seeing. Um, no, I thought the story was good. I thought the acting was good. It was a good all-around movie. It was
Yeah.
nice. It was a decent horror flick. What the fuck?
Yeah. For PG-13,
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. For PG-13 it was great. And like one person said, one reviewer said, it's definitely a good gateway horror
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Or for newbies or normies. Yeah.
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 Who aren't that into, you
Yeah.
know,
It'll freak
scary
some
movies.
normies out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
certain. As for certain. All right, let's do our ratings.
All right. Blood and gore.
One.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would count gore as like there's like some essence of it that spreads throughout the house, like mold or something like that.
Yeah.
Um so I don't know if you'd call nah, I wouldn't call that gore. Yeah, one.
Yeah.
I would say one.
Yeah.
Spooky scary.
Honestly, I'm gonna say 2.5.
I would say 3 for a PG-13 movie. That was good.
Yeah,
It was decently scary.
it's creepy. It's
It
very
freaked me
fucking
out.
creepy. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
We had it was just us and a couple in the theater, and we all
yeah.
were yelling at certain points. It was great.
Yeah, we were all
It was
yelling at
great.
the screen. I was more yelling at the screen at the shitty friends, but
Well, we can hear them on the
we
other
both
side.
were like, somebody kill her.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to die.
Please
But
tell me
the
she
other
dies.
couple was screaming too. They were everything. Everybody had a good time. What did they say?
Yeah.
What was that one lady? What was her rating?
2 out of 3.
3. There we go. I like it.
I was
Like it.
okay, cool.
Cool.
Um,
No sex and nudity.
No sex and nudity. Fun and entertainment. What would you give it?
I'm gonna say solid 3.
Me too.
Yeah.
Solid 3.
Yeah.
It was
I will
good.
watch this again when it comes to Hulu, if that's where it goes. I will throw it on in the background.
Yeah.
Totally.
It was decent.
Totally. Coolio. Well, we got a big fucking month ahead of us here.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
So our first episode will drop on Tuesday, and that is brain night warning.
Night warning, or
Yeah.
AKA Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
And Witchboard. And then 2 weeks after that will be the Craft
Mm-hmm.
and the Covenant.
Yes.
Yep.
And then July, we are diving right in to the Insidious series.
And I did get confirmation 5, the Red Door will be the series or whatever finale.
Series finale.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
It'll be the end of Insidious.
Great.
Yeah,
Can't
I
wait.
think Patrick Wilson's in 3 of 5.
Okay.
So
Sign me up.
I'm in when you got like fucking Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson. You had me at hello. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
One thing I'm not gonna do, I don't ever want to do on this with Patrick Wilson are those fucking Conjuring movies, because I don't want to give those assholes any of my time. The what's the married couple? What the hell is that called? The based on their life, they were just schemers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No, fuck you. I hope you're both rolling in your grave. Hope you're burning in hell. Oh, somebody else is burning in hell today.
Oh.
We willed it into existence. Anyhow, happy Pride.
Happy Pride, you guys. Happy Pride Month to all of our Pride friends. Our prideful
in case
friends.
you haven't noticed, Pride threw up in my basement.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess you'll probably see us periodically throughout the month. I don't know what else we're gonna do. We'll figure it out. But enjoy Pride and keep it spooky.
Woo!